sales manager of Studio. I'm the sales manager of Studio for South Asia and the East Asia market. Also, I'm glad to be a moderator to manage the program of today's webinar. About the agenda today, after my introduction, it's very short, 20 minutes student presentation, and then another 20 minutes for BYD. The last part of today's webinar is a Q&A session around 20 minutes, totally 1 hour. Please leave your question on the chat room and Q&A box. So the technical support team behind the screen has been ready to provide the answer to your any question. The presentation file would be sent to every register by email after webinar. Okay. Both Studio and the BYD invite professionals to join this webinar. Mr. Tommaso Caponaro, he's a global technical advisor of Studio. Mr. Kyle Zhang from BYD, he's the regional sales manager of Asia Pacific. The webinar has been designed to present the new hybrid inverter of Studio, also the latest lithium-ion battery launched by the BYD. The objective of this training is to provide you with the product information and the technology which is dedicated to both grid-tied and off-grid applications. Studio is a world-leading inverter company. BYD is the top 3 lithium-ion battery manufacturer in the world. The full range of Studio products are compatible with 48-volt lithium battery of BYD. The two companies have a cooperation on many projects all over the world. Again, thanks a lot for your participation. Let us start the presentation of Studio. Okay, first page, please, Tommaso. I would have a brief company introduction of Studio Innotech, and then my colleague Tommaso will carry on and show you what is the innovation Studio has provided for both off-grid and on-grid market. Studio Innotech, founded in 1987, Studio is an ISO certified company. We develop and manufacture inverter charger, and MPPT solar charge controllers entirely in Switzerland. The picture on this slide, this is a Matterhorn mountain, one of the typical Swiss symbol. Also, it's the unique symbol for Studio. At the top of northeast ridge, around 3,000 meters high, there is a hood without a grid, only powered by Studio inverter, BYD battery, and solar modules. Most of the climbers spend night there. It's a luxury hood, almost a hotel. Studio wish to present our proposal today, be able to power with the full service, not only the degraded service. Okay, next page, please. Reliability. Studio Innotech is a Swiss company working in line with the Swiss culture of innovation, quality, and reliability. Therefore, our products are developed, manufactured, and tested in our factory in Sion, in the middle of Alps mountain. Our products are all made in Switzerland. Our reliable and high-quality product has been installed more than 100,000 of installation all over the world. Innovation, Studio products, many benefit from 30 years of experience in battery-based system, also developed in the Swiss industry tradition of excellence. We believe the excellence is achieved through the innovation, which is why we devote over 30% of our HR to R&D. Warranty 10 years. Studio has a solid reputation built on the robustness and the reliability of a product. It's further reflected in our outstanding product warranty. With up to 10-year warranty, we make a clear statement on the quality and the long life of our product. Please call or email me for any opportunity to work together. My colleague, Tommaso, will take over and continue the rest part of the student presentation. Okay, Tommaso, please.
Yes, thank you, Robert, for the introduction. Thank you to BYD for performing this training with us. Thanks also for everyone that joined, especially to people that joined at 9 o'clock. So if the audio is well, if there is some issue, just please interrupt me. If not, I will advance. So Robert, my colleague, introduces Studer. And now I will focus on the new range of products that is the next generation of product. So what is the next? But before know what's the next, we need to know that Studer is manufacturer of off-grid and PPT charger controller. We are coming from the off-grid market. So we are coming from the Swiss Alps where there is no grid, and we need to provide grid with battery, with inverter, with renewable source. From that experience, we are going to a new market, let's say that it's the on-grid market, where the people want to be independent from the grid, want to produce their own energy, want to be what we call the autarky. So I produce my own energy, I consume it. For that, Studer has developed this new product that is the next tree, and it's a only one off-grid hybrid inverter. 48-volt battery, compatible with lithium, especially with BYD. Let's see what is inside this next tree and which are the market's target for this only one inverter, I call it. Of course, this grid inverter could be grid tied, so you can connect it to the grid, to a generator, and you can as well work 100% off grid with the same device. So that means that it's a unique device that you can use for your off-grid business, but also for your on-grid business. It's the same device. Of course, there will be the parallel possibility, so you can install more devices in parallel if you need more power. And Studer has designed this device from the experience in a modular design, because sometimes you need, in parallel solution, you need only the solar or you need only the inverter charger function. So the design inside the next tree, it's modular. You can choose for upgrading your installation the module that you want. So it's really, this is the results of 30 years, more than 30 years of experience in this domain. Let's go a little bit in the technical aspect of this device. As I mentioned, it is an only one, and it replaces, at least for the people that know the Studer product, it replaces at least 5 devices, so 3 inverter and 2 MPPT, plus the combiner box, because you don't need any more, let's say, a combiner box, because you have all there. You have the MPPT input, you have 2 separate MPPT inputs, very useful, for example, when you have the house with 2 different orientation. You have, of course, the battery connection, because just to remember, Studer works only with battery. Where there is a battery, where you need energy, we work there. So there is the input for the battery, 48-volt battery. So it's low voltage battery, and then you have the AC in, the AC out for your load, and the AC flex that we will discover later on. So also the communication module, it's all integrated into the device. So for example, Modbus communication, remote monitoring communication, the auxiliary contact for turning on your generator, it's all integrated. So you really need only this device to be competitive on the market. In this way, you can use this device for off-grid, for self-consumption, for autarky, for backup solution, for really where you need energy. With storage solution, you can place this device. Which are the special features of this device? So what is, let's say, the difference? Of course, we have a peak power that it's really high. We are 30 kilowatt with solar, 25 on battery, and 10 kilowatt for one phase. So this is the peak power that the next tree can reach for each phase. Of course, also the peak shaving, thanks to the Smart Boost 2.0, we have the peak shaving. In this way, you can take the maximum from the grid, and the rest of the energy, we can take it from the battery. And this is very useful when you are limited with the power that you can take from the grid. Of course, you can limit it from on the next tree, and you take the rest of the energy from the solar or from the battery. And another feature is also the phase balancing, thanks as well to the Smart Boost. So from the energy from the battery, from the solar, if you have one phase that it's 10 kilowatts and the other, and you can take from the grid only 6, the rest of energy it's taken from the battery or from the solar. So that are some of the features. And what is the new concept that we are bringing to the market? Because until now we talked only about self-consumption, but instead we are doing something different. We are going to the autarky. And what is the difference between self-consumption and autarky? If you see on the left, the self-consumption is what I do with my energy. So if I have the solar production during the day, okay, I can prioritize the house, I can charge my battery, and I can inject to the grid. This is the self-consumption. But what is the autarky? The autarky, it's what is the energy? Oh, I generate the energy for my house. Okay, in the autarky, you have the solar, you have the battery, and you also have the input for example, a generator. This is the difference with the self-consumption, because in self-consumption with inverter, with only self-consumption, you cannot connect a generator. So that means if there is a blackout, you cannot do anymore any self-consumption because your solar is not working, your inverter it's not working, and you cannot use your battery. So this is basically the real important difference between the self-consumption and the autarky. The autarky, it's I generate my energy in any case, in any solution. I have my battery, I have my solar, I have my inverter. The self-consumption is I prioritize my energy only if I had a grid. So be aware. And for discussing about it, I created this slide that I try to explain to you which are the difference between the next tree and the others inverter on the market, also with solar solution or without solar solution. Coming from the left, starting from the left, we have the grid tie inverter. This is, let's say, the classical grid tie inverter that are used for many kilowatt hours or megawatt of solar application that don't need any storage solution. So this kind of inverter simply you use the energy right now, or you inject to the grid. There is no need for storage. Then in the market, there are some inverter manufacturers that are becoming hybrid grid tie inverter. So they detected that okay, injecting to the grid, it's not anymore, let's say, an advantage. Let's store this energy. So there are new grid tie inverter that are hybrid, that you can connect a battery, and you can store the excess of energy to your battery and use it during the night. That's perfectly fine. So what is the advantage? What are the pro of the Next 3? What's it's doing different between the hybrid inverter? As I mentioned before, the grid-tied hybrid inverter are in most of the case, because there are different manufacturers, in most of the case, they are always connected to the grid. In some case, there are some inverters that cannot work totally off grid because they need the grid to produce the solar, to start producing from the solar. In some other inverter, you cannot, if you work always off grid, they can prohibit you the warranty. So be aware also on that. Another difference is that until if you discharge your battery and the day tomorrow the solar is coming, in the grid-tied hybrid inverter you cannot charge again your battery because the solar MPPT charger it's working with the grid reference. So really be aware of which inverter you want to install in your system, because not everyone it's the same. So you need to really detect which is the right inverter for you. And of course, in the right, you can see some advantage of the Next 3 and why the position of that it's different between the others, because really on the Next 3 it's in the middle of your house, it's in the middle of your energy, because you have an input for the grid, an input for the battery, the output for your load, and the input for your PV panels. You can really connect all of that cable in the inverter, while on the other inverter you only have one string, that is the AC string, for example, where you can connect the solar when you need to connect the home, the house, the grid on the same cable. So this is really the difference. It's at the middle, in the middle of your house, and provide you energy in any case, in any solution, totally off grid, with the grid, also in the altitude. And let me explain also this feature that it's on the Next 3, that it's the AC Flex. The AC Flex, I will try to make a zoom. So as I mentioned, there are the inputs of the inverter. You have the battery connection, you have AC source, that it could be a grid, a generator. You have the AC load, that it will be your house. And you have the AC Flex. It's really a connector point where you can connect some input or some output, depending on what you want to do. For example, if you want to have few input, you can do that. You can program with the software. You can connect the grid in the main source, and you can connect the generator in the AC Flex. So in this way, you have really you are double secure for grid failures. If the grid fails, you can turn on the generator with the software, no problem. You can also do it automatically. Or for example, if you want to use the AC Flex for your critical loads, you can do that. You can program it on the software during the wizard. You can say, okay, I have the main load and I have the critical loads. When the battery level reach 30%, cut off the main load, and I will keep only the critical loads that are, let's say, the essential load. You can do that. It's all managed by software. You can program it as you want. Or another example is that it's a really hot topic on the market. It's the AC Flex solar mobility. As well, if you connect it, if you configure it, the AC Flex as output, what you can do is, okay, when I have excess of solar energy, please turn on my AC Flex, and you will connect in your AC Flex the EV charger for your car. In this way, you will not waste any energy, any kilowatt hours of energy, and you can charge your car with, let's say, free energy. Yeah. These are the batteries from BYD that are compatible with the Next 3. Just to remember, the Next 3 works with low voltage battery. It's a 48 volt battery. It's a 3-phase 50 kilowatt hybrid inverter, off-grid hybrid inverter. And you can connect also 25 up to 25 kilowatt peak of solar panel. So the battery model from BYD are the LVS, LV Flex, that it's the new one that then Kyle will explain to you, will give you more details, and the battery premium LVL that I am quite familiar with. So that are the compatible battery with from BYD. And now I will go with the AC Flex in order to, sorry, I will go live to the next interface, and I will show you what it should look like in live, the new monitoring, the new solution of Studer. So this is a simulator of the screen that you have on the next. Of course, we have the information about the battery, but let's do together a restore to factory settings, and we will perform the wizard together. In this way, you will see how it's easy to configure a system like that. In the first page, he asks you for the language. Then it makes you a summary of the device that you connected. Another double check for determination. Then he asks you to select your country. I will select Switzerland. It automatically detects the time. You can adjust the date and time and also fix it with the internet time zone. Then he asks you if you have or you don't have the grid on the AC source. I will select yes, I have the grid. And in this case, that I have two devices connected, I will say the grid is connected only in the first device. He asks me the circuit breaker in order to adjust how much energy can take from that grid. If I can inject to the grid or not. So this is the injection parameter. And of course, the grid code for being connected officially to the grid because it's also compatible with. Then he asked me if I have a genset or not in my installation. If I say yes, I have a genset, the AC Flex will be an input. If I say no, I don't have a genset, the AC Flex will be an output. So in this case, I will select yes, I have a genset. And it's the first one that it's connected with a genset. And he told me the AC Flex port will be used as, the second one will be used as AC Flex, as load, and the first one will be used as AC in. Then he asked me other information about the genset. And here we are in the chapter of the battery. I have only one battery on the device. The first one is connected with, and it's a communicating battery, yes. It's a BYD battery. I will set up the capacity of the battery. And if I want to, the self-consumption, if you want to be autarky from the grid or not. Then here it's for being connected to the remote monitoring in order to be connected to the Studer portal and check data logs and other info. And here I have an error, device has no battery assigned. So I will return back. And I will say that both inverters are connected to the same battery. So as you can see, also myself, I made an error, but the system told me, look, there is an error on the configuration. Please be aware, turn back. So in this way, you are sure that when you finish it, the wizard, the installation, it's 100% working. and you can start using the system. So in this way, you can see that I have the AC flex in one inverter used for the genset, in the other inverter used for the loads. And I can configure it as I want. Also, each phase are independent. I can configure the L1 in a condition. I can configure the L2 in another condition. So that is basically up to you to choose what are you looking for. That's all from my side. I am Tommaso. I am in the technical support. So if you have any technical question about mentioning information, please contact me. The introduction was done by my colleague Robert Zhu, that is the regional sales manager for your area. And I want to say thanks to all of you for of course, for your time. I will now leave the microphone, the presentation to Kai from BYD. And here in the background, you can see some of Studer plus BYD installation all over the world. You can see in the mountain, in the ice, in the sand, really everywhere we have some installation. So thanks again for your attention, for your time, and see you in the Q&A session.
Yes, thanks for your fantastic presentation, Tommaso, and thank you for your host, Robert. Let me share the screen. So can you see the screen, Robert?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay. So let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Kyle from BYD Battery Box team. I'm the Southeast Asia sales manager, for the Southeast Asia market. So it's my honor to do the presentation for you. And for the content from our side, the first part is about BYD, and the second is about the BYD Battery Box, which is our the battery used for the residential. And the third, I will show you some information channel for you to find all the material about the BYD Battery Box on our website. The first part is about BYD, our company. The BYD is established in 1995, and nowadays that we have 26 years history. And today we got 4 major business. The first one and the biggest one is the auto business. And we are the #1 electric vehicle manufacturer in China for the past 8 years. You know, the China is the biggest electric vehicle market in the world, and we are the #1. And the second biggest business is about the electronics, and we are the OEM and also ODM manufacturer. And the third part is where we based the new energy industry. And the last is the rail transit. Our goal is no pollution, no congestion. So we just released the rail transit, the Sky Rail and Sky Shuttle to the market to release the traffic jam. And the revenue of the 2020, we reached to 26.8 billion USD. And the year-over-year increased by the 22%. I think for the last year, our revenue even increased more than 30%. And this year, we gonna list in the Fortune 500 company. And we are the multinational and also the multi-billion company because we have the manufacture sites globally for the more than 300 cities and 56 countries globally. And we are based in China, Shenzhen, the headquarters of BYD. As our 4 major business, the first one is the auto. As I mentioned, we are the world leading new energy vehicle manufacturer. And this is our new vehicles hand, and we send to the market. And this car is reached to the #1 sales in the Chinese market for electric vehicles. And we also manufacture the commercial vehicles, such as buses. We export our buses to so many developed countries, such as Japan, US, and Europe countries, etc. And then let's talk about something about the battery production. So we are the professional battery manufacturer. As you can see in the graph that our battery production capacity reached to 65 kilowatt hours per year, and we have seven manufacturing factory in China and 2 R&D center also in China. And for the next year, we manufactured more than 36 gigawatt hours, including all the power battery and energy storage battery. Here is our product, the battery box. You can see this picture. And we have the end-to-end chain layout from the minor resources development to recycle. We have a perfect solution for you. Because firstly, I want to mention that we have the real lithium iron phosphate, the minor resources. We take for more than 30% lithium iron phosphate globally, and we do the material research, do the progress development, also do the cell, the BMS module pack R&D, and also manufacture. And there are some player in the market. They just assemble the cell, assemble the BMS, assemble the module, and pack from kind of resources. So they cannot guarantee their after-sale service because their channels is so different. But for us, we got the end-to-end, the perfect production line. So we can guarantee the supply chain, and we can guarantee our after-sale service. Then the next part is about BYD battery box. Is our residential battery here, lined here. Besides the residential, that we also get a grayscale and a CNI solution for you. If you get any projects you need our support from us, please contact me. I will leave my email address in the chatting room later. So today we can just focus on the off-grid market for the BYD battery box LV Flex Lite. So the battery box is not a new product. We first released the battery box Pro to the European market in 7 years ago, and since the past 7 years, we launched the latest version of the BYD battery box Premium series in the 2020. So about the BYD battery box achievements, we are the top 1 brand awareness according to the UPD research listed in the 2020. We are the most well-known battery manufacturer, and this graph is investigated among the battery system owners. And according to the PV magazine, that we are top choice from the installer partners in the European market. And in the last year, in 2021, we took the biggest market share in the Europe, almost than the 30%. So you can see from this picture, according to the Wood magazine, that BYD leads the European residential battery segment, and we are the number 1, and we are the number 1 in the Europe market, and taking the biggest energy storage market of the 2020. As our brand based, the BYD. Here are the words of all of about our BYD battery box. So many words. So here's our products. Have a look at our lineup for the Southeast Asia markets. For the high voltage battery, we have HVS. For the low voltage battery, we have LV Flex Lite. So the 4 advantages of our BYD battery box. The advantages are 4 high. The first high is high safety. Because there is a very good question. What's the chemistry of our BYD battery box? As we use the LFP inside. Why? Because you can see in this graph that the temperature range of decomposition of LFP is much higher than other chemistry. So which means that LFP is the safest chemistry in the market for the energy storage system. And the second high is a high reliability. For the past 7 years, that we installed more than 220,000 units globally, more than 90 countries in the world. But there is no fire accident at all. So you can trust our brand, trust our products. And third is high flexibility. We are the pioneer of the modular design. All of our battery is can be stacked module. So you can extend your capacity at any time during the warranty period. So you can choose one module of LVS, which means that you can get 4 kWh usable energy for your house. Or if you want to use it in CNI, commercial or in industry, so you can choose the LVL, larger capacity battery, and you can use 64 LVL in parallel connection. You can almost get 1 MWh usable energy. And our products can be installed in a very easy way because the IP rating of our product is IP55, which means you can install the HVS, LVS inside your house or outside your house. And the operating temperature is from the -10 degree to 15 degree. And can be installed in a very easy way. The last is the high usability because we design a unique app. It's very you can download from the Google Play and Apple Store, and this is the app can be help you to configure your battery, such as the it likes the tweezers from Studer side, but this app is designed for our battery box side. You can monitoring your battery running condition on your phone, or you can explore more functionality in the. You can go the website, the Be Connect Plus. Here is the new app, Be Connect 2.0. We just sent to the Google Play and Apple Store 3 months ago. So let's move to our new product, the LV Flex Lite. For this battery, its 3U design is very small but with bigger capacity. So each module of one module of the LV Flex Lite have 5 kWh usable energy. So, or you can use 4 LV Flex Lite stacked in one tower, so you can get 20 kWh usable energy. And we are designing a cabinet provided for our customers to install their LV Flex Lite system, but we haven't sent to the market. So it's gonna be sent to the market, I think, for the next few years. Sorry, for the next few months. Sorry about that. And the voltage of the battery is equal to 51.2 volts, and the operating temperature is from the -10 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius. And the battery cell technology is lithium iron phosphate. As I mentioned, the lithium iron phosphate is the safest chemistry in the residential market. And here is the LV Flex Lite compatibility with Studers. So you can download this file on our website. I will introduce this later. So you can check the LV Flex Lite used for single phase or 3-phase with the Studer module. For example, take Nexus 3, they are new product for example, that it can be compatible with our Flex Lite. For if you want to use the ungrazed use, you can store more than 5 modules of LV Flex Lite. And it's very interesting because we before we launch our products to the market, we usually take some more than 3 months in our lab to testing the compatibility with inverters, and we choose the world leading inverter in the market. So we and this system and this cable is stored in so many scenarios from the Caribbean Sea to Arctic area. So in so many harsh conditions. So you don't need to worry about this combo with the LV flex light and Studer. So the warranty we can provide to the Southeast Asia markets is 5 years product warranty and 7 years performance warranty. And the performance warranty is very interesting. As after 7 years, you still get 60% retention for your battery. But if you connect, because we have the internet port, so if you connect our battery into the internet, so you can extend the warranty 3 years more, so you can get 10 years warranty. So after the 10 years and you connect your battery onto the internet, so you can still get the 60% usable energy. And the last part is about our information channel. The first one is our website. You can download all the materials on our website. That's the download line. You can slide our website to the bottom. You can find there the download line, or you can click right here. Go through the our website, download all the materials, the data sheets, the operating menu, and the warranty. And here's the 4 platforms for BYD Battery Box. So you can follow us on the Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. And for the YouTube, that we got so many installation videos, so you can check this out. And for the LinkedIn, that we usually share the newest information on LinkedIn. So please follow us. So that's all from my side. And thank you so much for your attendance again. So if you got any questions, please feel free to put your questions on the chatting room. Our technical team will answer these questions all in once. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the excellent presentation made by the Carl and Tommaso. Now we move to the Q&A session. We will answer the question on the chat and the Q&A box firstly, and then welcome to any new questions. Hello, Tommaso, can you start to answer some questions? So from beginning.
Yeah. Okay, yes. I will try, because in the Q&A they have been already all answered, so I will try to repeat to the nice question that Andy made as raised. There are very good questions. Modbus, yes, the Modbus, it's already available on the beta version of the next tree. So if you send me an email, I can send to you the documentation to interact with the next tree, to make your own SCADA, to control the inverter. So feel free to send an email. About the PV panels, you can oversize the PV panel up to 25 kilowatts. And we mentioned only 16 because if you make the calculation, the next tree, it's able to charge the battery up to 300 amperes. So 300 amperes in DC current are about 60 kilowatts of energy. But in order to, you will get this amount of energy, this amount of current only at the peak of the day. But the advantage of the next tree is that if you oversize the PV panel, you install a 24 kilowatt peak of solar panel, you will have the 300, so the maximum charging current for the battery, in more hours for the day. So you will reach the peak of current during the day. So the amount of energy that you can store to the battery during the day will be more. So this is the reason why we say 16 kilowatt, but you can connect up to 24 kilowatt peak of solar panel. It's just the amount of energy during the day.
There's another question. Please, Tommaso, see the Q&A
about the warranty. About the warranty. Yeah, the warranty, okay, you repeat for the warranty. Yes, it's 6+6 for the next tree, and for the other product, it's 10 years standard. And what else?
Q&A. Is student already consider heat dissipation inside the panel? Arif, can you give the more detail to your question? All right, so allow the voice of Arif. Okay, so continue other question.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the next simulator, no, it's not accessible for the moment to everyone, but as soon as it will be, just please follow our LinkedIn page as well. We will publish something that may help you. What we have already, it's on the StudentWare portal. You have a demo account that you can use for check what you can remote monitoring your system for extend or for next series, so data logs, remote control. So there is a demo account that you can use.
Okay, yeah, Carl, BYD has a question, answer. Carl?
Yeah, I'm here. Tamas has asked a question where to buy both Studer and BYD products in Hungary or Serbian. So I sent my college email address to the chatting room. The Quan he is Chinese of the rural market. I'm the regional sales manager of the APAC. If you have some orders from us, if you are based in Southeast Asia or Australia or New Zealand, please contact me.
Okay, other question about BYD, please. Okay, Tommaso, you want to continue?
Yeah, there was one question from Vivek that it's what is the power for 5 seconds of the next tree? It's about 30 kVA, and of course, if there is the solar, it can be also more. I will send in the chat the link for the complete data sheet of the next tree. So in this way, you can have a look on that.
So, Tommaso, there's one question on QA box. Can you read?
Yes. Because I see there are a lot of devices inside one panel, so it will be. Okay, yeah. The ventilation, I mean the cooling function of the next tree, it's a forced air ventilation. So there are some heat dissipator inside the units for the MPPT charger, for the inverters, and there are also some fans that take fresh air from the back of the device and push it down to the floor. So there is a forced air ventilation on the next tree.
Okay, thanks.
And yeah, there is another question for high voltage system that it's very interesting for us. Studer has worked since until now only with low voltage batteries, so 12, 24, 48 volt battery, lithium or not lithium. And it's on the forecast for us to be compatible with as well high voltage battery, so as well with the BYD high voltage battery. But for the moment, we are not compatible with high voltage battery. So, and this can also be an advantage because the next tree, it's the only off-grid hybrid inverter that is compatible with low voltage lithium battery. So for the moment, we prefer be the only one in this segment. Okay, there is another question.
Yes.
Okay, there is an interesting question from Thomas that asks if there is an EV charger from Studer or if there is any compatible with. Not for the moment. There is no compatible charger, and this as well can be an advantage for you and for the customer, because that means if there is no a compatible EV charger, that means that we are compatible with any EV charger. We don't force the customer to buy our EV charger in order to charge the vehicles, the car, sorry. So you can connect your EV charger and we will be compatible with. And also, talking about EV charger and use the excess of energy from your solar application, you can connect as well a heat pump, for example, for heating your house, or you can connect air conditioning for refreshing your house with the excess of energy. This is really the advantage of the AC Flex, is that you can connect a load that you want and you can turn on if there is excess of solar. So EV charger, heat dissipation, air conditioning, lamps, anything you can connect it. So you are free to use what you want.
Okay, there's a question. Is from the most Arif Nerding. Grid plantation, is there a total solution for high voltage system above 125 volt? Tommaso?
Yeah, no, I already replied, Robert.
Oh, you have replaced. Okay.
Yep.
So,
there is another from Thomas that is asking for the Modbus interface for heat pump or EV charger available. Yes, Thomas, if you send me an email, I will send to you the beta version of the documents about Modbus. And let's say that Studer is open source, so that with the Modbus protocol, you can get any information from the device. You can take all control from the device, and you can make your own solution. So you can get data from the battery, from solar, from the inverter, and you can as well turn on, turn off the inverter as you want.
So there's a good question. Hi, Andy. So there's a charging current is for the BYD about the temperature of the lithium battery. The operating temperature of -10 to
no, Robert was already replied from BYD technical team.
Yes, Fish has answered this question.
Okay, so yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah, it's a fight that replied. And there is another one that from Andy that's also interesting. Yes, it's clear we can use AC Flex for simple control of EV charger, but can we connect charger via Modbus and control it via? Yes. There is the Modbus protocol. You can integrate your own if you have anyone with, but for the moment there is no official EV charger compatible with Studer. So on the communication side, let's say it's not mandatory. There is no official EV charger. But that doesn't mean that in the future we will provide a compatible Modbus or not EV charger for the next year for Studer product in order to have an ecosystem. This is what you're looking for.
I just repeat the one question from Alessandro is we use the Studer solution together with our small wind turbine. Do you have experience on solution like this? We can set our wind charger based on the battery specification, but cannot communicate with BMS. So my suggestion is we recommend the lithium battery with a compatible with the wind charger and the Studer inverter and the solar charge controller. This the compatible communication is important. Another question on the chat.
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, when we talk about lithium battery, the communication, I mean, there is only one device that communicates with the battery. So if there is the inverter, it's inverter that's communicating with the battery. It's a one-to-one solution because it's not possible that the battery can communicate with two different devices. And there is a really good question from Thomas. Thomas, thanks to Thomas and to Andy to raise this good question because open some discussion. And Thomas asked, could I connect a one-phase diesel generator to AC flex input? Yes, you can. You can connect a single-phase generator, also a single-phase grid to the next tree. There is just one parameter to say allow individual phase connection in order to protect yourself. And yes, of course, you can connect it. And then there is the next tree doing phase balancing then? Yes, it will take what it can from the grid. So for example, it's giving you 2 kilowatts and your load, it's 5 kilowatts. It will take only 2 kilowatts and the rest it's taken from the battery or from the solar. Then it asks, could I connect on L1 a one-phase diesel generator and on phase L2 a one-phase fuel cell generator? Very good question. I mean, the phase they have a different phase shifting. I mean, the phase L1 it's at 0 degree, and the phase L2 it's at 120. So if you have two single phase generator, they are both at 0 degree. So that means that they cannot be L1, L2. The system will simply refuse to be connected because on L2, it expects to have a phase that is 120 degrees shifted. So for that reason, it will not be accepted. But it's a really good question. But what you can do, for example, is to connect on the AC input your single phase generator, and on the AC flex your single phase fuel cell generator. You can do that because they are different.
Okay, thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, and no, Thomas, because it's your generator that is providing this this voltage with different phase shifting. So the next tree, it cannot change what it's coming from the grid. And I want to add, perfect. And I see a really good software, Kyle, on your website that it's about the dimensioning of battery with the device. And I'd like to suggest this to the customer. So it's a software. Maybe you have more details about it, but I used it for dimensioning how much battery I need for my inverter, if it's single phase or three phase, and give me the results with. It's a very good software.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have more details.
Okay, there's a new question on the chat.
Yes, also this one, Vivek, it's a very good question. Yes, and this is the question is, does the next tree clean up the distortion from a genset grid input connected to it? Very good question. It will try. I made a LinkedIn post for that. If you want to see the graphs, just send me an email. I will send to you the real test that I will be doing. And the question that Vivek it's asking is, what's the next tree it's capable of if my genset it's really too bad, if the input it's really too bad. In that case, what the next tree will try to perform, because the priority it's your load, if your sinus of the genset it's really bad, the next tree will take the energy from the battery to your load and try to take really as less as possible from your genset. In this way, your genset, if there is no much big loads connected, the sinus it's a little bit better, and it can take the energy from the battery to supply your house. So in this way, the sinus that you have on the output, thanks to the energy stored to the battery, it's better. So this is what it will try to do. But if the sinus it's well, it will charge the battery. So it will help your generator. Of course, it cannot improve it a lot, but if there is some bad connection, it will try to prefer the energy stored from the battery.
Okay, good. Good question. Another question on the Q&A box.
Yeah, also from Thomas. Thomas asked if he can connect a grid-tie solar inverter in the AC load or in the AC flex. It's not yet compatible, but yes, you will be able to connect it either on the AC loads or either on the AC flex if you configure it as output, because they are physically the same connection, let's say. So you will be able to connect a grid-tie solar inverter with a frequency shift in the AC load output and as well on the AC flex output. So very good question. Yep. I believe, Kyle, we answered to all the questions. You have the email address of myself. I will send it again to the chat if there is any other question. In this way, we thank you for the time that you spent with us. We thanks also to BYD teams for arranging this meeting, this webinar with us. And if you need more information, just please don't hesitate to contact me or my colleagues or BYD guys. So for me, it's all. If you want to conclude, Robert or Kyle?
I think there is no question in the chatting room. Yeah. Thanks you all for your time and for your attendance, and thank you for Studer side for your hosting and the good presentation. Thank you. I just left my email address in the chatting room. Please find me here. Yep. Thank you all.
Okay, I leave my email address to everybody. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to Carl, Tommaso, and the team of BYD and Studer. Enjoy the weekend. Wish have a more cooperation in the future. So please contact me or any Studer people or BYD people if you wish to get more information. Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.